I'm
What
here.
happened to him?
I haven't done anything.
Let me disconnect my
Uh,
headphones and we'll reconnect here.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, my
I
mic's
see you
on.
talking, but
Oh,
let's try this.
how about your headphones?
2025 and this stuff won't stay connected. Gotta love it. There we go. There we go. That's what I was just gonna do. Throw an announcement out there. Talking OBs.
Anyway. So my thought, I don't know where I left off there, or I dropped off on you there, but the thought was that if you're counter trend trading, this model is very straightforward, right? Because you're only playing the retracement.
Right.
The only problem is the retracements don't typically get above 50% for the most part, right? So if the order block is present above the 50% point, then you need to have a rule that you start scaling at 50% back up, right? Or something of that nature, right? You gotta come up with some sort of rule to.
You're saying if you're long into it, okay, yeah. Oh yeah,
well,
for sure.
if you're let's just say counter trend, because this could be a long or short situation, right?
So you're saying
if you're doing this model in a counter trend fashion, you don't have to worry about the number of swings that occurred.
Right.
All you have to worry about is, am I going to get enough strength to get the points that I need out of it? And will I get back to the order block where it's positioned in the price action?
Right.
Because of a premium discount, right? Because in most cases, if you're in a downtrend, you're going to get back to literally 50%, and that's it. Right. If you're lucky. Sometimes you might not even make it that far. Right? So it's depending on where the order block is, you might get screwed.
Right.
Now, if you're going with the trend, you do need to be aware of the number of swings that have occurred.
Yep.
Because at some point, because you're selling with the trend, right?
Correct.
At some point, that trend is going to run out of steam, and you're going to go to sell it, and it's going to run you over.
Yep.
And it's going to reverse higher or lower, right? Whatever the direction of the trend is,
correct.
Right? So that is the trickiest part, I think, of this whole. And what order blocks are actually mitigated and what aren't.
Right.
Is the holy grail of this process. But otherwise, I think it's great because it really does line up with a lot of other ICT concepts in general.
Correct.
That we're all familiar with already, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I like it. I like it as a model, But yeah, like right there where you're at, you can see. Look, that swing took liquidity, right?
This one. Hold on. Let me bring up the cursor here, so I can just make it a little easier. All right.
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
That swing.
Yep.
Just took liquidity to the left, right?
Yep.
Yeah, going down.
Yep.
And so that means the order block that is responsible for that liquidity take is all the way up to the very top of that swing. Right?
So when we broke structure, so our structure would have been like this. This would have been our structure, right? Do you agree with that?
On a higher time frame, yes, but not on a 15-minute.
No, this is the 1 minute time frame from
Oh, this is 1 minute. Okay, all right, yeah. Okay, on a 15-minute, then I would agree with that.
Okay. So this was the 1 minute yesterday, and there was a reason. This is the long that I took yesterday. I only bring this up because it was a counter trend trade, essentially, because.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's why I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. What are you, insane?
But I knew.
I saw that. Here's what I saw. That shit. When you took that long,
yeah,
I was sitting there. You took that about like halfway up. That push up,
yep,
right?
yep.
Actually, more than halfway. You took it like 3/4 of the way up.
So this is
And I was sitting there like, I'm sitting there looking at the counting it, going, well, there's 1 swing, 2 swings, 3 swings. Is this guy insane? He's going to take a long here.
yeah. Also because look,
And
you had one
it
swing
pushed
down.
higher. I get it.
Yeah.
No, it worked. It worked. That was awesome. But
yeah,
I was really questioning that.
Well, I just want to bring it up now because it's exactly what you're talking about. Counter trending, looking for a long backup to the untapped responsible. Because I knew it had a good chance of happening because if I look at this, so this is my 1 minute structure, up, down. 1 minute structure comes up here because we formed a 1 minute order block, so that makes a valid swing up. We came down, broke down. So the minute that we closed above this high, our 1 minute structure broke up. And what else is above here that could reject price? We're going up to this untapped responsible. So that's why I took the retrace to this 1 minute responsible here, knowing that if we're going up to that order block, that's where price was going to hold. So that's why I took that long right there, and then however many points, it doesn't matter. But that's why I took that trade there.
It was probably like 500 fucking points or something yesterday, right?
It was. Yeah, it
was like insane.
It was like 80 points, something like that, wherever I entered.
Yeah, whatever. It was dumb. But the entire. Yeah, I was looking at I was messing with my one indicator I was working on today, and I was setting it up so I have like an opening range on my chart, and I was programming some code to get it to show me the number of points of the range, right? So it literally lists it on the chart, right? So I don't even have to figure it out; it just tells me.
Right.
That way, I can sit there and make a judgment call whether I can be like really stupid and be like, well, I'll just put my stop on the other side of the range.
Right.
Or do I got to be like really smart about this? But dude, yesterday's opening range was 243 points.
Yeah, it was absolutely massive.
For a 30-minute opening range.
Yep. Nothing surprised me in this market anymore, though. But let's see. Obviously, there's not much to look at inside of this 15-minute range. It's just pure madness. This almost reminds me.
You scroll back. There's a lot more. There's a lot better. Well, yesterday was just a lot of nonsense.
Yeah. Well, this is April of. This is where I ended my This is where I ended my OB video today, actually. So I was just gonna start here and just look on the 1 minute time frame. But I want to look on the 15 and see what's above that's untapped. So this isn't really a responsible here, because it's like all this. This isn't really a responsible. You might get some kind of retracement there, but it's not a responsible because you didn't get like.
Well, what about what's to the left of that? What matters, right?
Yeah.
Did that leg of price action take liquidity to the left? I can't see it.
It already closed below, so like this would be more of the responsible that I would be after. I see what you're saying there. So I would expect maybe like a lower time frame, 50% up there. But like this leg, this isn't a new break of structure. This 15-minute break of structure is from here to here, from this is your 15-minute leg here, down to there. Actually, the lows. So that would be like the whole leg. But once we finally broke down,
that leads to another example, right? Because an order block is an up-closed candle,
correct?
Right? In a downtrend,
correct.
And your rule is that the moment you close below it, it becomes an order block.
Yep.
But if we look at that one right there in the middle that you had right there.
Yep.
We have a down closed candle that fully engulfed it on the next candle.
Yeah, right here.
Does that mean it's mitigated or not?
No, because it was not an official order block until this candle closed all the way down here.
Until that candle closed.
Yep.
Okay.
So now it's an order block. So but it's not a responsible order block because it's not the last order the last order block before the breaker structure, because the breaker structure happened here. So this is the responsible. So I would expect some kind of reaction out of here.
Right.
But either way, both are targets to the upside though. Either way. But I guess we'll keep both up. But so like if I was coming, I would this is so ugly. But
well, let's see. You swept liquidity down below.
Yep.
Right? You swept all the liquidity on the 15-minute on that. So you came up. You mitigated the responsible order block.
Yep.
And then now you've actually closed well above the responsible order block.
So I would expect upside here. But
you've also put in 3 legs up. So now, if I was reading this price action, I would expect this DPR that was just created to drop down below the prior swing low, and then determine whether it would head higher or lower from there, up to the higher responsible, if that's possible.
Right. See,
that's what I bet happens if you move the time forward. It probably goes down there.
See, I would expect this to hold. Well, I would expect. Well, actually, see, this responsible is already held, so I would expect downside only if we close below this.
Yeah. No. I don't expect below that, because that would be a break of structure.
Yeah, correct. I would see. To me, this is one leg of structure. This is like leg 1 up for me. This little stuff in between is just internal bullcrap to me.
Okay. Well, I bet that BPR comes down to sweep the last swing.
All right, let's see. All right, there's just sweep. So now
look at that. Below it. We were both wrong.
So, see, honestly, there is no, to be honest, not to like make excuses or anything here. But this is honestly just absolutely messy, and like from the way that I look at swings, I need to see when I'm drawing my 15-minute swing, I have swing up here, and then I have a swing down here. There is no new break of structure. All this is just internal because we're inside of this entire range. I don't have a new break of structure on the 15 until we close above this high or we close below this low.
And that's a refinement then. So you need to refine it so that when you say 15-minute price action, you need to define it as the price action is trending in one direction or another on a 15-minute chart.
Right.
If it is consolidating on a 15-minute chart, then this model goes out the window.
I mean, you can go down to the 1-minute chart and use it still. Obviously, but I mean,
no, I get it. I get it's all fractal, right?
Right, yeah.
What I'm saying is you're not going to get this price action down below.
Right.
Is not ready to go for that upper responsible order block you just had your cursor on.
The model that you have written out does not take any effect until we get up to this responsible. That's what you're saying, and that's absolutely correct.
Well, what I'm saying is you don't even attempt to use this model.
Correct.
While you're in a 15-minute consolidation.
Right. Exactly.
You only attempt to use it in price action that looks like what's on the left-hand side of the screen.
Mm-hmm. Right. Correct. Yeah. So like this isn't really, like I said, this is probably like more of like a 1 minute. Like if we drop down to the 1 minute, it's probably a bad time to start. Let me see. I'm gonna say.
I bet you on the 1 minute there's probably a whole bunch of order blocks in that 1 minute.
Yeah, for sure. But see, this makes sense to me from just an order block standpoint, because like even like say this is like a 1 minute swing, I would have expected, and especially closing below, I would have expected this order block to send us higher. The fact we closed below here and this order block down here on the 15 would already be mitigated to me, right? Would you agree that
probably means we're going lower?
Exactly. So I would fully expect that low. As soon as we close below this candle, my target would automatically be down here. Like because there's no other order block that's going to send us. There's not a fair value gap. There's not an order block. The only thing that the price could be going after is this low, which means there's something off to the left that we need to go to as well. But yeah. So I would not sense any break of structure until we close below here. And then if we close below here, then maybe the model can come into play, and then you're staring at like this order block, as your potential responsible. So we'll play it out and see if we close below. So we close below. So this would
You
then
still got to know what's in the left, though. No.
right. That's the one hard part about backtesting this, is because it's so hard to like look left. Let's see.
But you
Let's
could
go
pull
here.
up a dual chart and
Oh
throw it
yeah,
on like an
yeah,
hourly or something.
yeah.
I don't know. Throw up upper right hand side, just like TradingView. Throw up a second chart.
You want a second chart, Mike? All right, all right.
No. And then you could put up like an hourly or a 4 hour or something
You're saying like this?
as well, and they'll work together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now you can zoom out on that one with a 4 or like an hourly.
Yeah.
And you can stay on your 15-minute on the other one.
All right. So if we look here, let's just do this. So if we go to an hourly, like I don't see us. I would expect us down to. So if we look on the hourly, there's nothing holding us besides down here. But this, so I would consider all this mitigated already down here. Because why? We closed above. This candle already dug back inside of all of this. So I would almost be targeting these lows. But it seems like
or at least that fair value
that fair
gap,
value gap
right?
at least for sure.
Yeah.
So that's where I would be looking on the hourly, which means I could then look for a short potentially out of that out of this 15. If we close back above it, then I know where then we know where we're going, right? Where are we going, Mike?
We're going all the way up to the top.
Yep, probably at least up to the. I would say at least up to this breaker, this little 15-minute these lows, but yeah, most likely this order block up here. And
yeah, probably the mid. Yeah,
right.
probably the midpoint of that, or yeah, something like that, right? Yep.
So actually,
that's where the multiple candle thing comes in.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
Right.
The other thing the other thing that I forgot to mention in the video today is like, is responsible order block. So you would see this, and then you would see, look, oh, we already dug into this responsible. But I have noticed that even after the break of structure, the responsible order block area still holds. It still counts. Like you're like, oh, but it's already mitigated, so maybe we don't hold it. But I've seen it hold not every single time, but like I still see it hold as like a level of price that sends it back down. It's kind of something new, but that's just like something like just because the responsible is already mitigated. But now that we got the break of structure, I would still consider this as like an area where I would look for like the model that you have drawn up with like a potential 1 minute order block out of here to further then continue downside. So we'll run it. We'll see what we get here. We are dumping.
That's where right there at the bottom there you're looking for a long. If you wanted to, you could play the model the opposite way.
Right. So
now you're playing like a 50% retrace.
Right. Well, shit, we should have started that a little bit sooner here. So like my last swing up wouldn't have been until we had a 1 minute order block, and then we broke back below it. All this is just internal. So my structure would look like this. We had this, boom, we close below it, 1 minute order block here, send it up for a swing. And there, so this means my 1 minute structure wouldn't have been broken the way that I like to draw structure until we close above this high. So once we close above here, this is where like you're like, okay, we have an untapped order block, 15-minute order block responsible above. I can then long the last order block before we broke structure.
We also came into the 1 hour fair value gap.
Oh, we hit that one. Oh, we did. Okay, that's even more of a So like if we hit that and got a 1 minute, here, I mean, yeah, because look what happens. We end up missing this order block, but then we come back for it. So shit's all mitigated now. So it never got mitigated here, but look, we come back for it, mitigate it, and then we end up pushing higher. So I mean, the aggressive entry is here. The continuation entry is waiting for the break of structure getting in on the responsible tap right here, and then off you go, and then you can just hold longs, targeting up to here. But you just got to be careful because you have a 1 minute responsible area here. But these are the smaller areas that could drive like lower time frame pullbacks. So this is actually interesting. So yeah, so there was 2 entries there off of the hourly. Are you tracking?
Yeah,
All right,
100%.
all right. Let's see. So let's see if we can continue to respect responsibles to the upside. So this would have been my break. Obviously, you got a 1 minute order block down here. So until we close back above it, I'm not looking. We're still bullish. There's no 1 minute order block here, so my swing actually takes me up here until we got a swing down. And look what happens.
All right.
This was the order block. This basically just this consolidation was our responsible. Holds that new responsible. So you could have got in again here. You could have got in here as well, and you're still targeting what? You're still targeting that 15 minute above. So now we close again above, and you're looking probably down here at this potential order block because your structure.
I would be cautious about targeting higher than. See, you don't know what the higher time frame ultimately its objective is, right? You have to zoom out even further, like a 4 hour, a daily, a weekly, whatever, because this could be literally the beginning of a downtrend.
Oh,
and you're just looking at a 1 minute retracement that could go a couple hundred points in your favor.
Right.
But at any moment, it could give out because it's not going to blow through the breaker on the 1 hour that it just created.
That's why I just hold until we get like if we get a 1 minute breaker structure down, then I can start looking for shorts. As long as we're delivering from my higher time frame area, then I can look for shorts. However, if I'm in this long still, I obviously am paying myself at this area of consolidation. But if we close above this, I know we're going up another, what is that? Another 40 points up to, this is a 1 minute responsible up here that never got retested. So I know for sure if we close above this blue line, this high, we're going up to this 1 minute responsible. But ultimately, we're probably going up to that 15. I have noticed because of the 15, those 15s are absolutely strong ass magnets. We don't like to leave 15s behind before continuing the trend. Very, very rare. We just leave them behind. We do, but it's very, very rare. However, this is where I'm like starting to get leery of longs because we already have one swing up. This would be our second swing up. This would be our third swing up. So I would expect maybe another swing up. And then usually after that, sometimes we'll get like a fake break down, and then we'll go back up and break higher. And as soon as we break down and then break right back up, that's immediately my mind's like, okay, this is bullish as hell because we just broke structure down and we immediately disregarded that and blew straight through it and broke right back up. I know this is bullish and there's some kind of higher time frame target. And at that point, I'm like, cool, I have reset. I broke down. So now if I break back up, that's now swing one, swing two. I'm really curious what happens here, but I would absolutely be. Obviously, we can get a rejection out of here.
Yeah, this is a spot to take some money off the table here.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. Because this is a 1 minute responsible here. But something else to look at would be this is your 1 minute responsible from this this swing down. So, but the thing is, we've already tapped into it here, so we're already we're already closing above it. So I would already 100% expect us to blow through this, right? Because if we are mitigating it, we should.
No, I mean you go all that way. Why on earth wouldn't you take the high?
Right. Yeah.
That's just dumb because that's where all the stops are.
Right.
The stops are not at the order block.
Correct. So let's see if we.
Okay.
So we do not take
you
the
came
higher.
down.
Yep.
You're going to sweep the second leg.
The question is, do we get a fake breakdown here? And do we close below?
Yeah.
Let's see. So we would close below here. Like if we close below here, I would get out of any runners, of course, because obviously I'm going against structure. So let's see.
Okay.
We do not close below. Look how we do not break structure down, and that's why I like to draw my structure the way that way. But
so that's what I'm talking about with the concept of smaller like sub swings and kind of like major swings, right?
Yep.
So you see when you're drawing your structure, you're essentially drawing the major swings.
Yep.
For that price leg.
Correct.
But the reality is those major swings are contained inside of those are smaller swings, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they
like
follow
on a,
that same
yep.
they follow that same counting pattern of 1, 2, 3 retraced to the prior second swing.
Right.
So you've got 1, 2, 3 up. We retrace to take out the prior swing.
Yep.
And in this case, you just you turtle souped it.
Yep.
And then away it goes on now another it's reset itself to be able to then continue higher.
Right. Yep.
Because it started a new series of major swings, basically.
Yeah, yeah, because it's just the 15-second, 30-second, chart resetting itself. So
yeah,
yep, exactly.
That's all.
Yep.
Are you recording this, by the way?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, we had no break of structure here, so I'm 100% like there's I don't see anywhere else price would reject here. We should push up to that order block. If we get any kind of retracement, down 50%, I would prefer way down here. I don't know. I doubt we get a retracement down there, but there's your order block.
Yeah. Usually when you break over a high like that on swing one, you're going to see like a lot of them. Like when you the strength just comes in big time and it doesn't come back. Only when it reaches its next target.
Yep.
Will it, because what's occurring there is you break over that. Not only are you breaking over that high, you're now tagging everyone's stops who were short.
Yep.
Right. And then now you're tagging the stops from the other guys who were short off to the left.
Correct.
Right. So there's a lot of momentum that's being picked up, and it's just not going to retrace. There's too many buyers stepping in.
Correct. Let me do this. There we go. That's better. But yeah, so I mean, this is where I would expect maybe some kind of retracement, though. Maybe just because it's it's the 1 minute OB. We're totally expecting price to get up inside of this 15-minute responsible. But we expect some kind of resistance here. So there's your pullback. Let's see. You got what breaker here. Let's see what kind of pullback we get here. Holy. All right, so this is where you can frame along. You could absolutely try along here, but you would need. There's no.
I'm not trying along there. Right, but okay.
Look, this is why you have to pay attention to like all of your 1 minute responsibles, though. So the 1 minute response, we came all the way back up to hit that 1 minute responsible, and then come all the way back down. So we have officially broken structure down here. So
now what is that on a 15-minute? If you zoom out. Was that the 15-minute responsible right there?
Nope.
That was the one that was.
It was just the 1 minute up here. Yeah. Yep. It was, but it was the last. But it was the last 1 minute before we broke down on the 15 as well. So it makes sense that's a strong area.
Right.
But now. We'll see. So now
this is where you got to zoom out. Yeah, you got to zoom out and look and say, look, is the probabilities in my favor that this thing is going to go up, start a new leg, and then immediately come down and sweep its entry, or where that thing began. It's not common in trending price action for that to occur. Right. So this would be a really low probability long for me. In this case.
Oh, I agree, because this is like I've noticed like on like a 1 minute like this, even if it's like the 1 minute that drove like a 15-minute break, it's still a very strong level, because usually on like a 1 minute chart as well, it's also some kind of 1 minute structure. So makes sense we didn't get up to that 15, but did we at least drove back into the 15-minute low, though, so that I guess makes sense. Let's go back down to the one. Let's watch this 1 minute responsible. So now
I bet you Plyle's model is there on the 5 minute.
Oh, it might be. You know, inside of here,
I
probably.
bet you there's a 5-minute fair value gap sitting right there.
Probably. Probably. All right, Mike. So would you take this 1 minute order block short? Right here. Right? This is or I guess it would more or less be
If I do ahead, yeah, I would go short. But in reality, I need more information.
From this order block, would you go short? You got a 1 minute break of structure.
There?
This is your 1 minute break of structure, right? 1 minute break of structure.
Oh, if we came back to that order block?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think I would try it too because we're closing below.
No, it's just not a trade that I would typically. This is not a trade I would typically take. I would wait to see more information.
Okay.
I don't like.
That makes sense.
I don't like getting in the middle of price action like this. I tend to be a very reversal point oriented trader.
Right.
So I like those. I have a tough time, especially in bearish price action.
Okay.
I have a real tough time getting in a trend.
Mm-hmm. See, what I see here is I would like to short because the RR is going to be pretty phenomenal.
Oh, massive.
Yeah, because look, you have all these order blocks are all tapped. They're all tapped into already. So if this thing's going down, it's going down. I see devil's marks here. I would be holding for obviously the devil's marks and the swing low because everything's tapped into. There's no reason for price to come back. But I would go to the 5 and be like, okay, do we have a 5 minute untapped? We do. So this would be like back to the origin of the move. So that would be my big target. Would be 653. So we'll see if we get a tag in. That's 100% something I would try here. I just wouldn't want to see it close back over that responsible. Because if we close back over that responsible, you could almost reverse position and expect to retrace back up to that 1 minute order block. But that's for a different day. That talks for a different day. We're reversing position. But see if we get a tap in. Don't look like it. Oh.
Yeah, we hear you.
Who?
Hear me? Is my mic on?
Yo, what up?
Yo, quick question. So the order block you're looking at, the responsible order block, is the closest one before the break of structure, correct?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So we actually did get tagged in. You actually would have got tagged in right there, and look at that drawdown you would have had. Now, obviously, would have been here, maybe runners for the potential swing low, but you're running into a 5 minute OB there. Actually, I wonder if it's a 5 minute. Trying to see if it'd be a 5 minute. I don't see a 5. It wouldn't even be a 5 minute swing up for me here. Because there's no 5 minute order block made anywhere inside of this to the downside. So this is all just one big 5 minute swing for me. But that trade would have worked out perfectly. But
go down to the 1 minute and count your swings, right? So you've got swing 1 from the very top. You've got swing 1 down.
Yep.
Swing 2, swing 3. I consider that third chunk an actual just one big swing, right? All that messy stuff there at the bottom.
You're talking from the 1 minute responsible up at the top here.
Yeah, you could go one swing. Well, you would count that as one swing. I would count
one
that.
Big swing. Yeah, to me, this is one big swing because we made no 1 minute order block above. No 1 minute order block bullish was formed the entire way up. So for me, that's one big swing down.
Okay,
but
I would call that 3, but that's okay either way.
Now
it's the same.
Right.
Same concept.
Yeah, I mean on a lower time frame, yeah, absolutely. Because I guarantee this is like a 5 second or a 15-second break of structure, inside of here, or at least there's a 15-second order block in there, right? So, but yeah, that's a trade I would have taken because I look left and I see everything mitigated here. So if we're breaking structure down here, I've got structure on my side, I've got a huge RR on my side going down to this 5 minute. Now if this break of structure only took us down here and this was tapping into an unmitigated order block to the left or a 5 minute order block or God knows something unmitigated, this I would be a little more leery of taking this because that could send us right back up. But because of the structure here and everything was already tapped into, I don't see. I think that's a fantastic trade to take there. But I'm curious. Do we push through the 5 minute, or does the 5 minute, or do we just come down to the origin of the move, retest it, and now do we push all the way back up? Now, the problem with this is our 1 minute swing is way up here, so we won't get a 5 minute break structure. So you'd be going against structure. But if we got something that says bullishness, so we can get rid of this, but we know the 5 minute order blocks here. However, this is where I'm looking at this, and I see this order block. I think it's already tapped into though, barely. But this is where I'm looking, and I'm like, okay, well, if we close back above these mitigated highs that tapped into this order block, I would expect this thing to keep to a run further, and maybe we can look for like a 1 minute order block these here to look for a long. That would it's no kind of like model or setup that I have, but that's just like from a price reading standpoint. That's kind of what I would expect. Otherwise, if we don't respect that 5 minute order block, then obviously our next target is the swing low. All right, so we went a little too fast there, but we start closing above there. So obviously these highs would be cooked. This order block was not tapped into right here, right? This was never mitigated. Oh, we actually mitigated there. So if we close above this high, like in my head, but just from a price reading standpoint, I'm looking for us to get up to what? I'm looking for us to get back up to this 1 minute order block.
I would say you're going way beyond that.
You think so? Okay.
Block.
I would probably
if you look on the higher time frame,
yep,
you're going up to that 15-minute responsible above.
Right, exactly. I mean that's why you could look for some kind of long inside of here. Granted, you're going against structure, but you're delivering from the origin of the move. When you're delivering from the origin of the move, it's usually very, very powerful. But what happened? Nope, we did not.
Give it a minute.
Yep.
Consolidating.
Yeah. Oh, we're in the middle. It's okay. It's let's skip ahead like 15 minutes. We're at 4 o'clock. That's why. Holy. What is... Oh, figures.
Yeah, there you go.
Now our structure's gonna be all messed up. Yeah.
There's your Asia London pump.
Yep. So let's draw this. Oh man, it was all nice and pretty. Easy to keep track of, and now it's a disaster. Just go back to the 10-minute chart and maybe keep an eye on it here. All right, so there's the 1 minute order block. This line was the 1 minute order block. What's that, boyo? Off any size evo. Nice. All right. Let's see, where are we at? 4:30 in the morning. Absolutely just messy. We're just stuck inside this 1 minute range, basically. Let's get to open.
Is this from last year?
It is last April. April 20.
Yeah, I remember this price action now. I distinctly remember this 1 hour chart. Yeah, this is where everybody gets fucked. We all keep trying for those highs, and it just keeps screwing everybody. It goes up, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's going for the highs. Yep. It's going to take all those swings, and then blah. Yep. Oh, it's going up. It's going for those highs, and blah." Cool. And it did it for like a month on everybody.
So now, let's get rid of all this. We're just going to restart from fresh at a brand new day. I guess I could just clear everything, huh? There. All right, so I'll be coming in today, and I'm like, okay, well, I see we're breaking down on we broke down structure at open on the 15. This is my 15-minute. This is my new 15-minute responsible. I'm not sure how many swing downs this is on the 15 though, because this would be one. This would be so it'd be like, so this would be like 1, 2. See, you're already like 4 swings down, so you're getting a little sketchy now. But what does the hour? Let's go. So this is where obviously, let's go look at the hourly and see where the hourlies could be going to. See, this is where I would start to get a little sketch because we're coming down to this area of consolidation on the hourly. But remember, this was already mitigated. This hourly candle is already mitigated, so almost would expect, us to be after these lows and then something else to the left. Because there's no reason we're going to come down and bounce from them again. I wouldn't think. And we have unmitigated. Looks like everything's pretty much tapped into here. So we'll mark those. We'll mark these lows as well. They don't transfer over, or there's no way to, or is there? Nah, I don't think so. Maybe not on. All right. So those lows are 372 and 221. We'll keep them marked. So on open, I would be hoping for a pump back up to here. Maybe get a short out of this 15-minute responsible. Would be what I was kind of looking for. Let's go down to let's go down to 1 minute. Our day is pretty much set up here. Let's see. So our 1 minute structure would look like this. You'd have a breakup. It's kind of messy. There's no close below until here. We never close back above, so really it just gets lower and lower until you get a close below. Actually, I'll just say here, and then to here, and then you don't get a 1 minute order block. I mean, so we're coming into. So this is going to be your 1 minute responsible and your 15-minute responsible sitting up there. So on open, so we're making a push. So this is the 1 minute that drove the 15-minute low. So you might get a reaction here. We blow through here, then we know we should be targeting that 15-minute responsible up there. So okay, let's see. Do we close above it? We haven't closed above it yet. Now we close above it. Remember, the close is what we need to see. We need to see a close above it. Because we see this a lot. We sweep it, but we don't close. So see if we get a push up into there, and then I'll be framing a short off of there. All right. So if we got like a 1 minute order block here, I think it's well worth a short because all this would be mitigated. Actually, no, this would not be. So this is where you were kind of asking, Mike. We closed above, but we didn't. This didn't become an order block until we closed above right here. So no candles tap back into it yet. Make sense? Uh-oh, Mike left.
Yep.
Okay.
Nope, here,
okay,
yep.
okay. So if we got a 1 minute order block here, I'll take it. If we close above, we're going to be breaking structure up on the 1 minute, and we can and then we can look left for potential longs. So we'll see what we get out of here. But we're in a 15-minute response. We close above. Okay, so we close above. So we have a market structure shift to the upside here. Out of, where did we bounce from? I'm going to say we bounced from 555. What was that on the hourly? Anything? A weird spot, I feel like.
Fair value gap.
Yeah, that last fair value gap in the leg there. All right. So we break above, which gives, so closed above this high. Give us a break above. So this becomes our responsible. Yes, just basically this entire thing. I'll just, somewhere inside of here, we could maybe frame along because we closed above it. So closing above market structure shift to the upside, we could potentially frame along out of here, like with some kind of lower time frame setup, or you can just long. I mean, it's totally, it just depends. What would be left up here? And we could target, everything's mitigated, so we would probably, I mean, we're probably going up somewhere higher, I would say, but this would be like target 1. Right, your last unmitigated. Looks like we may not get a tap into it, and we're not gonna get a tap into it. So we're gonna continue to bust up. So, this line would have been down here. So we get a market structure shift to the upside. We get a 1 minute order block to the downside. So this is a swing down for me. Once we close back above it, which I don't know if we do there. I think we do, maybe not. Either way here, we'll just say we broke up here, boom, and then so this would be like a new shift to the upside for me. So this becomes a new 1 minute responsible. Basically, this little guy. This is where like okay, I'm like okay, we continue to break up here. Let's look at the 15-minute. What do I see? I think it's pretty obvious. Would be that 15. So you could still keep trying to get in long here, targeting. It would be your last 15-minute in the leg here. So that would have thrown me off a little bit, but like it's more like okay, we closed below the responsible, but didn't close above that. It's a very that's a very weird one. I don't see that very often where we just like we close like a tick below it, and then continued back up to that 15. But now we delivered from what the last 15-minute in the leg. Looks like this was also this also would have been a 1 minute responsible too, right? You would have had a breakup, and then this was the last order block before your new swing down here. So that you got a 1 minute of 15 there. So now I would be okay with looking for a potential short if we got like a market structure shift to the downside. Also because what we've already had one swing up, two swing up, three swings up. This was your there's no market structure shift here. We never closed below this low. So you're already at five. You're already at four swings up. So we'll see if we get.
You don't have to close below that low. You just have to sweep it. Right? And it's not that's not the low you need to close through. It's the order block itself. So it's the up close candle that you need to sweep, which it did. It swept the up close candle.
Yep.
So essentially, it has reset the cycle, and now I would expect another leg higher.
You think we're going higher? All right. Let's see. Yeah.
All right, I'm wrong.
No, I mean right now we just swept it.
Well, technically, I'm not wrong. I did get another leg higher.
Yeah. You did. But this is where this is a key signature in price that I have. This is the same thing that happened a couple days ago, and this is I seen this exact thing when I think it was Liam was I said okay we might get a move down here because I see this and then I see a failure swing to a close above, and then we get a massive move down. This is when I'm maybe expecting a potential move down because we failed to close above and put in a new market structure shift to the upside with displacement to the downside. This is a big key signature, especially when you are at 1, 2, 3, 4 plus swings. It doesn't mean we're going all the way back down, but it means you might get a market structure shift to the downside. And I think that's what happened on Thursday. Was we got a failure swing here, failure swing just meaning that we failed to put in a new market structure shift to the upside, and then we just came down and broke structure at this low. So this is we'll see if it plays out, but this is kind of like that signature that I'm kind of seeing. So there we broke structure down. So basically, this would be your new responsible. So you get a failure swing. So this responsible. So I guess you already got the responsible tap there. So that's like before that candle would have played. You could look for a short inside of there. Your stop's just basically if we close back above it, because then you know what we're going to push up to that order block. But I'm looking over here and everything's mitigated. So I would be short, expecting probably a move back down. This order block is barely tapped into, but I'll at least be looking for that 671 area. I would say.
It's 671, 50% of the upswing.
Oh, you're saying like on a 15-minute swing, probably.
Looks around.
Yeah. Here,
the bottom of it, probably.
Yeah, let's see here. I don't know how many fibs I have saved on. Holy. Oh, this is -4. Let's see. I do have a 56. 50 sits at 650. How about that?
Yeah.
But there are a lot of times that you'll see. I think I've mentioned this already though, but like when we're bullish, it's kind of like what you were talking about, Mike. When we have like maybe a structure shift on like the 15-second and the 30-second. But like we'll get it on like the 1 minute here. We'll get a fake breakdown, and then we'll end up getting a push, and then we'll just and then go break up higher, and then it just resets. Like to me, it resets the swing count, and then we just continue much higher. So looks like this responsible is gonna get blown through, or it's gonna hold. Look at that shit. It's down to pretty much that area. Never closed above that freaking responsible. I would have been shaking in my boots though, because I would have expected delivery from here. But I guess if you look at it, it's like, okay, what are we delivering from here? Here though, so like maybe I wouldn't be. I don't know. But probably would have partialed there. Like I said, stop would have been a close above. Probably would have partialed there, just because it's just one of those order blocks that are like, okay, we tapped it, yeah, but we didn't even get to like 25% of it, which is kind of the thing that I've been noticing. But I'm curious how this plays out now. But we got a 1 minute bullish order block here to the upside. So this became a swing up. And then we never closed below. So I'd actually draw it from the highest swing, the highest swing point. And then I would go down like this until we got a new 1 minute order block. So oops. So this would be my new. That would be my new swing down. So I would expect. What I would expect. Where's my responsible? So my responsible would be right here. Both, So we'll see if that continues to hold price, and then maybe we get like 50. Would probably be like the next target down. If we blow through it, I would expect the swing high because this order block has already been mitigated basically here. So see what happens. And there's 50. There's 50 down to your untapped. That's probably a 5-minute order block, I'm gonna guess. Yeah, it's that untapped 5-minute order block right here. So that would probably be my final TP. That would have been probably like my runners take profit. But so there would have been that. Did we make a 1 minute? We never made a 1 minute order block to the upside though. This is. I guess we did. So I guess I would draw it like this. And now if we closed above, I would be absolutely all about trying long. So I know we're delivering from here. I would not like that we left this area unmade. This is probably another 5-minute order block down here though. That we left untapped. Let's see.
Here's where you zoom out.
Yep, exactly. So there is a 5-minute.
Make your decision.
Yep. No, 100%. So this is where I would know this is here. Like I said, I'd probably be all out. I'd be happy probably with that trade. Why won't this thing go straight? Shift won't work. All right, whatever. But if we broke structure back above, then if I had a runner, then that's where I would cut it. If we close back above this high, there's no reason. Actually, if we closed above this, because this would have been our new responsible rate, but. Close back above there. That's probably where I would exit. The trade because. But nope, the freaking responsible holds again. Isn't that shit? It's absolutely mind-boggling to me how insane those levels are. They're absolutely they are unbelievable. But so there's the 5-minute order block. Like you can't convince me otherwise that the market does not move order block to order block. After seeing this stuff, it's absolutely crazy. Now though, we're at basically the origin. If we got a long here, I would absolutely try. I would try to slap it. So we close above here, so we have a new new leg down. But I wouldn't be comfortable like in anything bullish until what could we close above this responsible. So we'll see. Mike, too many M's, too many M's and K's. Mike, are you taking a 1 minute order block off of this if we get it?
Give me the bigger picture.
All right, so you are delivering. So
Oh, zoom. What I'm saying, zoom out.
you
Right?
have.
Give me a 1 hour.
Oh, you want a 1 hour? All right, a 1 hour.
Okay, just scroll the 1 hour over to the left here. I want to see where we're at.
Well, you're delivering from this area of hourly mitigation here. But this
That
is
that
this
100% looks like a market maker seller model to me.
and
But
you're absolutely blowing through this hourly order block that we just put in here. So
yeah, I have
yeah.
no interest in a long
All right,
here.
all right.
I think you're going to get a little tiny retracement, and then I think it's going to dump to the low.
So would you short this a 1 minute responsible then?
Yes.
I'll reverse the question. All right. We'll see if it happens. I think after looking at the hourly with you, I think I would try the same thing. And if I get cooked here, I know I can then look probably for a long. But
Yeah, you make it back, right? Because if that responsible gets cooked, then the whole thing is reversing back up.
exactly correct, exactly, because everything else is freaking mitigated here. So you can then absolutely look for a long. Exactly what I'm trying to show you guys. If it breaks back above here, the only spot this thing can reject is this 1 minute up, is this tiny 1 minute right here. Otherwise, all this stuff is mitigated, and we're going all the way back up. Correct. So even if you take a loss here, you can probably get it. You can probably find a long and get it all back. But so if I got tagged in here, I would be looking for nothing short of this swing low, because there's nothing else that price hasn't tapped into already. So we'll see what happens. See if we get an entry. Nope. Garbage. But we seen the whole thing. We seen 50 entry 50 ways to get into that. So I mean it's beautiful. Makes me want to cry, right? No, I'm just kidding. But so what time are we at here? We're only at 1:30. So I'm going to assume, was that a 15? Let's see if the 15-minute closes back below. So no short there. Let's clean this up a little bit. All right. So we'll see if the 15-minute closes below. Did that come back to that responsible before the 15? Hold on. Where was that responsible at? No, I don't think we did. Crap. Oh, it was this one way up here, so no. Okay. All right, let's see if the 15-minute closes below. 15-minute close is below, then we can maybe expect. Okay, so there's your 15-minute close below. So now we got 15-minute responsible sitting up here. Our 1 minute structure is just absolutely getting annihilated here. But we finally, looks like we finally broke. All right. So to alleviate, let's see. So you see we closed below here. So this would have been our swing. Let me try to see here. So this would have been. I'm trying to find. All right. I'll just draw it from where we are. Mike, were you typing? Oh yeah. Got to run the dinner. All right. Later, Mike. Yep. Will do. I'll post it in the tribe announcements. So to me, I'm just gonna go from here. We're gonna start getting to 3:30 here, but this would have been a swing up for me. No close above there, so we got to close up here. Remember, this is all just internal though. This is not a break of structure to the upside, but that sends us down here. So all this, we're just still in this 1 minute internal range. We don't get anything bullish until we get close above here. So if we got close above here, we could then look for a potential responsible long to take us up to what, that 15 up there. And if not, we're just bearish as hell, and we'll keep on dumping. We're gonna go into the 4 o'clock hour. It looks like. All right. We'll do one more day here. Let's go on the 15-minute chart. All right. Let's go to next day open. Holy. Well, you see where we bounce from. Our hourly levels that that we had marked out here. Got a sweep of both of those, and we came down to. Let's see. This was already mitigated though, so we just we tapped. This would have been an untapped hourly here. Did we tap it though? Let's see. Hourly untapped, right there. Oh yeah, we definitely tapped it. Oh no, we tapped it there though too. So very, very strange that we would bounce from here. I would not be absolutely convinced, but all right, let's just go into the open here. So we're at 9:30. Let's clear our drawings up. All right, so our 15 looks like this. We had a break up here, right? Break up here because we made a 15-minute order block, so that makes a break to the ups. That makes a swing to the upside. Doesn't mean it's a break of structure. Our break of structure would have been probably either a close above this or this. We'd have to go back a little bit. But we get a close below. We go here, and then we started closing. We got candle closes above down candles, so this would be a swing up. No 15-minute bullish order blocks here until we go down here. So now this is just our 15-minute range. So our structure is still bearish until we close above our last high here. Which means overnight from actually the previous day. Oh, so we're still on the same. This is the same 15-minute responsible from yesterday. So that's what our 15 looks like. Let's just go on to 1 minute. See what open's giving us here. So if we start here, we basically had a swing down, swing here. We had a little 1 minute order block to the downside, so a valid swing down. We're still bullish though. You see, we came down. Okay, no, the responsible's here, but there's that. We break down here. You get a 1 minute bullish order block to the upside. The biggest thing is just learning to draw this structure. Really. Nothing bullish here yet. A little 1 minute order block there. You get a close below, close above. It's kind of sloppy going in the open. No close, so our structure's here. So we don't get anything bullish until we get close up here. I'm gonna change my cursor because there. Oh, that's a lot better. I got grid lines now. If you go on the line chart, does it follow your trend lines? I have no idea. Like that? Kind of. 1 second, guys. All right, let's go back to. All right. So see if we get anything bullish here. Best case would be we get a 1 minute order block in here, and then maybe a breakup, and then we could target upside here. But let's see what happens. Other than that, our breakdown would have been. Let's see. So when we close below this candle, so this would have been our responsible. So obviously we're going to break a structure and probably close above that at the same time. Let's see what happens. All right, so we close above. We don't really have a responsible until down here. So we sweep it. We got to move up. There's no break of structure again to the downside though. So this could almost be a potential failure swing, like we seen a little bit ago on the highs, where we just get a soup. We just get a soup, and then we'll see if we get a break up now. Now if we got a break up, I would 100% be about a long because we get a failure swing. And then Mike, you're back. We got a failure swing on the lows after a break of structure up. So our structure right now is still bullish. Structure is still bullish here until we get a close below. Remember, closes are the important thing here. All right, so we break back down, which is this kind of lines up right with our hourly. Our hourly isn't delivering too much from anything, so we just get a false break up here, and then we get a new break of structure to the downside, which makes basically this little area your 1 minute responsible. Shit's insane. But you did get a 1 minute move up here. So you got a little 1 minute order blocks. You got a little 1 minute swing up. Little 1 minute swing up. These are ugly areas here. Let's see. All right, I think we need to go to our hourly chart and see where we expect this thing to be going here. I don't see anything on the hourly. We got hourly BISI down there at 33, but I think, man, just looking on the hourly though, where can this thing be going? We already tapped there. I don't know if we tapped there or not. I would say we tapped there, but that would be my next area to look for a price to go to. Would be that 1783 area, which actually that coincides with. So maybe we don't get there because I think that coincides with an area like on the actual charts right now. Like on like the weekly, there's like a weekly order block down at that level right now. So I don't know if we actually get there based on that, but we'll see here. But we've had so many swing downs. We've had, I guess we've only had 1 swing down, 2 swing down, 3 swings down. This would be 4 swings down. So this is a spot where you got to be cautious with shorts because we've already had four swings down. It's time for us to possibly get like a break of structure to the upside. So maybe not a spot where I'll be looking to take a short. But if we do get a short, this is your responsible. So it takes us down to the 1 minute. And then we break back above. So it gives us a reaction still. And we close above it. So everything's mitigated here. Where could this thing be going? Let's get rid of this. We already watched both those hold. Everything's tapped into. So we could potentially, did we get a breakup here? We did. All right, so basically this would become like our new responsible. This kind of sloppy here, but this would be like our responsible. I've never seen a responsible be like at the break though, but. And then let's see. So this is exactly what we just talked about though. We get four swings down, and then we get a false break up to then continue lower. It looks like. Yeah, so then we get that. So that's why I'm always cautious after we get to 4 swings down, 4+ swings down. I've seen it go to like 5, 6, 7 swings down. But after 4, I'm always very, very cautious continuing with the trend. Because, yeah, we might still be bullish, but like the 1 minute sometimes needs to reset, break up, and then because you're going to, it's stop running all these people that are just getting inside the trend. So you just got to be careful for that. So we had a 1 minute breakup up to here. So we just broke down here. So our 1 minute responsible doesn't sit anywhere until right here. So now I would be okay with looking for more shorts, right? Because our 1 minute now reset. We had a reset here. So now this is just swing 1 to me. And I know we're potentially looking for that 1783 level below. So if we got a potential short back up inside of there, could look for it. Looks like the stop would be, it's like 20 points. That ain't nothing in today's NQ. But all right, so what do we got here? Close below this order block already mitigated, so I would expect us to continue up here. Let's see. Continue up, deliver from nowhere, and break back down again. This thing's just bearish as hell. But it would have been no entry. Oh no, don't do that. All right, would have been no entry. But our swing came all the way down to here because we didn't get a 1 minute order block in there. So our swing up. So we got a 1 minute order block here, but this high is the highest high. So that's the high that I would pay attention to. And then obviously wherever this thing takes us to until we get a 1 minute order block. But where does our so I'm trying to see if we close below. Looks like this little 1 minute doji would then be the responsible. Somewhere inside of there. All right, so there's your doji, there's your order block tap, and if you want to get in, there's your entry. And then you're probably looking for the swing, the swing low at least. But you know, if we're going to the swing low, we're probably going lower. So there is that, which means you add what? Another swing to the upside until you get a new 1 minute order block that takes you back up, and that's going to design your structure here. So still nothing on the 1 minute, so this is still just your 1 minute. This is just a big 1 minute swing now. Still no 1 minute closures. No 1 minute break up. No 1 minute break up. Nothing here until we got to here. So it'd really go from this low because now we got a 1 minute order block upside. So if we close above here, we got to look here and be like, okay, where's our next unmitigated? That's where price should be going to because we made a 1 minute off the lows. Or actually, that one's already tapped into. Close below, order block there. So it'd be up to this one. Let's see if we get up there. There's your order block. Little retrace. All right, so I would say we're probably going up towards. It's a tiny responsible. There it is. But I'd say we're going back up to at least, you know, these lows, this big order block. They're both untapped. And there's your higher order block, and there's your responsible. And price delivers all the way back down. Shit's absolutely stupid. It's on crack, but so that's why you just always got to keep your old responsibles that have not been tapped. You've got to keep them. You've got to keep them marked and know where they stand. But notice the OBs have been working much better than FPGs, especially during trend days. Yep. This is why it's exactly why I've just been like OBs are everything to me compared to fair value gaps. Fair value gaps can obviously be an assistance, but I don't want to take any position anymore unless we're hitting some kind of order block. Because notice like here we hit this fair value gap here. It gives us a little reaction. You might go short. You might go short there. But look, we end up coming back up to the order block first, and then we get the retracement down. So that's why I'm paying so much more attention to order blocks lately. But still, this is still internal structure. There's no break of structure to the upside until we close back above this candle's high. So far, we just came up for a full retracement to the responsible. So if I was short, not saying I would have taken that, but if I was short, I would have wanted to see probably this order block tapped. I don't think it's a 5-minute or anything. I don't think we're gonna get it. So we inverse, basically. I guess you'd call it inverse. We inverse that. We inverse that responsible after the dip that it gives us. Just gives us a soup there. Let's go the 5 minutes, see if it actually tapped anything there. It was just a 5-minute devil's mark. So we left that. All right, so we left that 5-minute here. All right. Just going back to the 1 minute. We have now got 1 minute structure to the upside, right? So this entire swing, there's no swing down here because we never closed above. This is all internal. So our 1 minute swing is this entire leg. You see we're going to, looks like we drive up into unmitigated up here. I wouldn't look for a long until what? Until we got back down to irresponsible down here. All right, so here comes the responsible, but this is where I would probably wait for a lower time frame setup out of it, just because where we're delivering from. This is probably a 5-minute order block untapped up there. Yeah, it's like a 5-minute area of accumulation there, so be a little hesitant. And also knowing that we left unmitigated here and a 5-minute unmitigated here, but our structure's bullish, so we would be trading with the structure. So we'll see what happens. So as soon as we blow through it right there, I'm immediately going bearish. And this is, I think this Mike was talking about this. I don't know, Mike, if you could talk. You're probably in the car, right, with your family driving to Outback. But if you can't, this is a trade this is a setup that I'm kind of been working on, or just back testing a little bit just by myself. Nothing I've made like official yet, but like this order block drove us through the responsible here, and I'm bearish because we've now closed below all this, so I expect at least to this order block, which I guess we already tapped. But can we take this potentially short, looking for the 5-minute here if we get the tap? Boom! Right off the 5-minute order block, the 5-minute order block that we left unmitigated. So it just proves like this market just moves order block to order block. Absolutely stupid. So we get that there. Obviously, our structure is still bullish. This has just been a major OTE entry. Basically, last 1 minute, biscuit in the leg, whatever you want to call it. We'll see if we get back up. Like I said, that order block doesn't mean much though up here. So we'll see. What's this thing gonna do? All right, so we closed below. There. What do we got here? Last 1 minute order block here. I wouldn't expect this to hold. It might, but okay. So we close below. So we break structure up just to come back up, hit untap 5-minute here, drive all the way back down to the 5. Looks like just a 50% retracement here. We missed that order block, so this is one I'll keep in mind later on. But this is where I'm like, okay, well, we know we have that 1783 level marked on our hourly. I mean, everything's all but confirmed now. I think that's probably where price is probably going to draw to based on the hourly chart. What time are we at though? We're at 2 o'clock. So our 1 minute structure is now getting pretty massive here. So until we come back up, but we do know that this area is our 1 minute responsible area. I mean, pretty much just a smaller order block, but anything in any kind of short inside of here, I'd be looking for a short over here. We'll just draw the small. I'm going to be looking for a short if we got to move up into there. But looks like we might just go into close. Only spot Bob would want to short is out of there, and looks like we're just going to continue. Do we break lower? We did break lower, so now we have a new responsible sitting here, and yeah, we're basically at close. So see if we respect this. If not, we push up to probably here. And now we're just at 4 o'clock hour. Let's run it through for Asia. We'll see what this thing ends up doing. I usually wait for the order block. The order block that formed the break of structure. To be honest, that's the new thing. So we end up just going back above there, and then going. So we don't get that 1783 level, which actually might make sense why that's like a target right now, because of I think it's a weekly order block now on tap, but looks like we just gap up. We don't get that low, and then we blow through there, and we end up going back up to here. But all right, guys, it's been an hour and a half. I'm gonna go get some dinner. Anybody have any questions before I dip out of here?
Lep, I just had one
Scared
thing.
the shit
If you
out of
could
me.
just spend, if you could just spend like
Yeah.
5 minutes going through
5 minutes, man. You are needy.
like yesterday,
You want to go?
yesterday's price action between like 9:55 and noon.
Do you want me to go to Trading View?
Yeah, could you?
Okay, yeah. All right, this is yesterday. Between when?
If you could just start at 9:55 and just look at the price action until about noon.
About noon. Okay.
And then if you could just draw your swings like you have been.
Yeah. So if I was starting, if I was coming into the day, let's see here. This would have been a swing down. This would have been a swing up, because we broke above this high. We never closed back below here though, so we never closed below. We can wick it, but that's not a market structure shift. So it would have just been a pullback for me because we put in a 1 minute order block. So there, and then up to the highest high, because then we close back above here. No breakdown until we close below here. So once we close below here, right here, I would just go down to the lowest low before we got a 1 minute order block to the upside. And then we got that, and then obviously none of this in here matters because it's all inside of this swing. So I'll go up to here until we got until we take out this high again right here, or we go below this low. So this would take me down to here, and then we got a 1 minute order block once we close above this candle. So this is a valid swing up. No 1 minute order block there, and I would draw it from here to here. I'll go from here until we get close above to here. 1 minute order block down, makes a balance.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So right there,
yep.
When you break structure up right there, that 1059 candle, that's your responsible order block, correct?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. So then later, when like around like 11:36, when we start tapping into that,
yep.
Even though we're shifting structure bearishly, would you still be looking to frame along off that responsible?
I guess it would depend. Potentially, I would be a little more skittish because of the break of structure. This might be where I wait for like we did get a 1 minute order block off of it. This is actually one that got me yesterday. To be honest, it got Wizard too. Me and Wizard were actually on a call, and we actually took this long. We longed from this responsible. So this made our structure here.
That low of 1137 was also a perfect tap into the 5 minute order block that formed at the low.
Exactly. That's why I took this 1 minute long here. But I ended up getting stopped at break even because I was going for the cookies because all these were mitigated here. This is the one thing that got me because I'm like, okay, well, all these are mitigated. All these order blocks are mitigated here. There's no reason we shouldn't at least get up into the Cibi and our origin in this order block up here, and we did not get to it. And I got stopped break even. I was like, are you kidding me?
I think we only hit like 50% of that whole leg.
Yeah.
But so like you would have been you would have preferred much more if like the leg low at 1108 tapped into that responsible. That would have been like
correct.
Way better, obviously.
Oh yeah, like if this came down to here.
Yeah, if that came down and you formed a 1 minute order block or whatever you want to enter off of an FEG or whatever. That would have been
100%. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right. Well,
Yep.
I think I got it.
I'm still confused on that, and this is an area that I have marked. Or actually, no, we never came back for it. But this is an area that I have marked because I am going to catch the long tier one day. One day, I am going to get it. So, but yeah, that got me too. That was a break even trade for me, or a law. I can't remember. I think it was a break even because we delivered so much already. But yeah, I was very upset we did not get up there. Wizard too. So, yeah.
Cool. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's being recorded. Discipline. I'll post it as soon as I'm gonna have to upload it to YouTube because it's an hour and a half long. So Discord will only let me upload up to 500 megabytes. Appreciate that, Spicy. I also the video today I think was pretty good about it too. But I'm glad you say that because I will post it to YouTube then as well. So yeah, 100%. Appreciate it. Any more questions? Cool. All right, guys. Have a good evening. We'll probably see you guys in the chat unless I see Spicy talking. I'll give him a minute. Not talking, but typing. In your honor. That's where I'm headed right now. Walking right next door to give me a fat steak. All right, guys. We'll see you in chat. We'll see you around. All right, peace.